Small, micro and medium enterprises had a difficult 2 years after the impact of the COVID-19 pandemic hit the sector the hardest, prompting government to take charge with revival programs. The township economy is one case in point. Western Cape's Department of Economic Development and Tourism have partnered with various innovators to help revive the township economy. Luvuyo Rani is director of the Silulo Foundation. They are spearheading the SMME Booster Fund on entrepreneurship and economic growth in Cape Town townships. He joins us to speak a little bit more about this. Mr. Rani, a very good evening to you, and thank you so much for speaking to us. So the Department of the Western Cape's Economic Development and Tourism have been specifically exploring the impact of the SMME Booster Fund on entrepreneurship, especially economic growth in Cape Town townships. What have been the markers? And perhaps if we could just start with, what was the situation when this booster program was launched?
Thank you so much. Appreciate you invited the Silulo Foundation to speak today. So before, there was no program that was geared towards the township entrepreneur in the Western Cape. So Western Cape government used to fund organizations, but not funding organizations that on the ground that works with the entrepreneur. So Silulo Foundation becomes a partner where we're able, now to support about 50 entrepreneurs in terms of getting them laptops, in terms of getting them CRM, in terms of supporting them, and also, getting the data track in terms of how the entrepreneurs are doing now over the next 2 years.
So just to get a good comparative study of, if you could just perhaps start with people's personal experiences. There's a lot that's been said about post-COVID and funding, particularly from government, to help entrepreneurs. A lot of them have complained of never even seeing the money.
No. It's a biggest challenge in terms of the government working with the small businesses in the township now. Some businesses, they've kind of closed their doors. And some of the businesses that we work with, like Uzikona, she used to, open the bakery, in Kailisha, and then now she has to pivot now to work on the consulting and also work with the young people around the soft skills now. So some of the entrepreneurs, they've been really hard hit with the COVID. They're still, dealing with after COVID even now. And with this support from the government now, it kind of bring them and revive and make sure that they're coming back and able to go forward, because this is hard, but there's a future now in terms of these programs.
So you talk about pivoting. The conversation, I believe, aims to uncover the potential for reshaping the SMME and township landscape across the Western Cape and gradually across South Africa. So that also means rethinking what was in place before. Post-COVID world is very different to what existed before. We all have had to have a mindset change.
There's a huge change that I'm seeing it now, that I'm thinking that is going to be part of the township now. I think that I see three things that I see now. There's a huge community support among the communities in the township, entrepreneurs working together. That's something that I'm seeing that the program, and I think it's something that even the government, they're able to kind of see that they can partner with that now. And the second, it's the social capital that entrepreneurs build up the network, build up the support, they build up the support even around the the mental health issues that they have it now. And the third, which is what I'm kind of seeing now, there's a huge collective entrepreneur now. So it's no longer about one unicorn that comes from a township that is going to grow. It's about the community growing together and supporting each other.
So how do you amplify job creation and foster economic development through this booster program? It's interesting to hear about, I should say, people are now working in a unitary style as opposed to alone. So what catalysts exist for meaningful contributions inside and outside of the townships?
That's the big part. The the interest of the government is just like to see the entrepreneur turnover increasing so that they can see that they are making money. And second part, it's more about creating employment. That's what the government much more, they are seeing now. And then how do you do that? You kind of like building that in the local to extend that local, supporting local and believing local and make sure that there is much more pride in supporting the local. That's one part. And the second, you manage the ecosystem, around the township, working with the university, working with the collaborators, like people are working in the space around small businesses. And then also, you're working outside now. How do you bring Cape Mountain to Khayelitsha now, where you bring Cape Chamber, where you bring Jewish Board of Deputies, and also where you bring EO to come in and work with the entrepreneurs to open up market, because the most important thing is access to markets, what the entrepreneurs can able to trade and able to grow.
So you say the initial funds from the SMME Booster Fund have served as a pilot for a groundbreaking township entrepreneurial development model. What evidence of there exists that there is a sustainable future in townships and rural areas? What stories are there to share that prove this?
The amazing stories that we have. There's a cultural landscape that does horticulture, and he does in around the township. He's based in Fuleni, but he also works in Waterfront. He also works in One and Only, and he also works as Central City now. So he's open up the business now, formalize and drive the business, and he's been doing that part now. There's Kudzi. She runs a nail beauty business. She's got 5 branches across Khayelitsha to Belvedere, where she opens from 8 in the morning and 8 in the evening, Monday to Sunday, and she employs about 60 people coming up in the stores where she does the work, just like focusing on the nails. And there's queues of women, if men are coming in, and you see them. And Yuzum Kululi, who's a designer, he just only design for 5 clients. Those clients are specific. They probably charge about 5,000 to 10,000 now. So you've got amazing gem. Over myself, even as I work with entrepreneurs, seeing that there's so much opportunities and there's so much, and even money in the township that goes around amongst the township people.
So tell us about your journey, Luvuyo, especially if we're talking about aligning with the province's commitments. How are you able to facilitate that relationship while maintaining a measure of independence, but also not being trapped to working in that location, the Western Cape? Is this a model that is scalable, that can be broadly implemented beyond the Western Cape?
Yes, it's a good point. I started with Silulo in the township of Khayelitsha and 19 years back, and I grew the business. And then I've been doing this kind of support small businesses for way back. But I decided late last year to transition now, being a CEO of Silulo, to focus on the foundation full time. And through that, and I built network and I built kind of credibility, and that makes me to understand in terms of what can be catalyzing the township now. So because of I built Silulo, we've got 46 centers across 3 provinces. And scaling is part of what we do, and that's what we do so well now. So the idea is to take this and put it in the different provinces. In fact, what I'm seeing now already now with the third cohort that is coming in now, 50% of the application comes from Eastern Cape and KZN and Gauteng. So there's much more demand and need, and they are saying this part of the program that is here, it's done by Silulo Foundation, is not a program that is many people are doing it now. So it's part of the plan to be every part of the country to make sure that the entrepreneurship, it's something that we know now that we need more entrepreneurship more than before.
Thank you so much for speaking to us, Luvuyo Rani, an entrepreneur who is the director of Silulo Foundation as part of a booster program for entrepreneurs being run by the Western Cape Department of Economic Development and Tourism.